Welcome back into the workshop, and isn't my azalea quite nice? Well, it's nice in the fact that I haven't killed the damn thing. I'm not a gardener, but I keep on saying that, and I keep on doing gardening things, so perhaps I am. Perhaps I'm just a lousy gardener. Anyway, this is a condensed version of a couple of videos I made earlier today. One of the ones was the video, I'm just sitting down, the video that I just watched by a chap, his channel's name is Frankly Rustic. Hadn't watched any of his before, and I took a look because he was mentioning something quite relevant to me at the moment, and that's dust extraction. And he covered something, I think, quite well. And even though he couldn't quantify it with facts and figures and what have you, I think he was spot on. And it essentially broke down into the pros and cons of having a two-stage dust separating system. He, for a long time, had been of the opinion that the cyclonic type of separators and even the Thine type of separator were a great asset for your workshop. But he's moved to the position where they're actually, while they may well work, and hopefully I'm not putting words in his mouth, but while they may well work, they come with a downside, and that is they really destroy the efficiency of the machine that you're hooked up to. And that I 100% agree. Because it's logical that, well, worded another way, the dust separator itself does not improve the efficiency of the extractor being used. It may well be good for dust extraction, to separate it out and what have you, to keep a lot of it away from the filter. But he also made the comment, as has other people, that no matter what, the very fine dust, powder, the very fine stuff that actually is most harmful will still make it to your filter and cause some degradation to your extraction system's efficiency. I 100% agree with that. So he's actually gone backwards and actually improved his dust extraction, or the efficiency at least. And I'm kind of going along that route myself, away from the need to have dust extraction. Now, I've got a double one up there, so I'm paying a double penalty. And for me to get... Okay, step it back. Now, this is stuff I've covered, and other people have covered it, but it's pertinent to me right at the moment, and I think it may be timely just to bring it up. That's a commercial vacuum cleaner. It is not a low-level vacuum cleaner. It's a twin-motor vacuum cleaner. It is quite sucky at the port of entry. It is not sucky at the point there where the dust needs to be extracted at that point. Why? Well, maybe it's the efficiency of that area there, the machine itself, and the restrictions that the engineers have made on the ports that go into it. Okay, if I connected up that to this directly, I probably would find that a lot of the problems would go away or would at least reduce. If I bypassed the additional hoses, not much, but additional hoses plus the friction and resistance of those two cyclonic separators, I would probably pick up more efficiency there. So those things are hurting that thing. I'm not going to get rid of those things up there. I'd either keep those or I'd swap to a Thine type separator. The benefit to me is it does keep away the very fine dust because it's a twin separator, in my opinion. That second chamber gets a second go at catching the very fine dust that doesn't get extracted by the first one and drop into the bin. there will always be that powdery, smoky dust that can't be separated. It's just held in the air column. So that goes up there, has another chance, I'm not saying it will, but it has another chance of being caught. The reason I know that is because the very large bag in here, the filter, doesn't get much on it at all. Some, yes, not much though. So I'm saving the vacuum cleaner from loading up the bag, which means it maintains the level of efficiency majority of the time. I'm going to say, I'm going to pick a figure, 80-90% of the time, because it simply doesn't get the very fine particles. It's all trapped up there. His logic would be, I'd get better efficiency if I got rid of that, and I'd just have to put up with collecting the dust. No. That's different from the one he had, which was like this, and that's to be fair. His collector had in this case, he upgraded it to a pleated fabric, like a cartridge type, the big ones, good quality filters, and his lower bag is plastic. It does not get clogged like I was just saying this does. So there's absolutely no way his logic, which is correct, but his logic would persuade me to do away with the separator because of that. It's a pain in the ass to have this clog up, and it is a real major, because it's a big bag, to clean out. Now, I had that issue for years with my small Nilfisk collector, vacuum cleaner, that I was using when I was sucking up plaster dust, when I was sanding the plaster, when I'm doing plastering and the sanding and what have you. And the bags would fill up and they'd have to be thrown out because they're disposable. If you didn't have the disposable bags included, the filter itself, the main filter, the cartridge filter, would get absolutely clogged and you'd clean it up. That's it actually sitting over there, believe it or not. And it had been smacked and cleaned and blown out so many times, still works. And only just recently did I actually replace it with a new one. And I'm assuming it was better. The new one is better. But having a separator before it even got to that poor old filter was a good thing, because it was, anyway. His view is quite correct. It's correct, I can just say that. But I like his approach, because this now could mean that if I don't have the need for the filtration system, and therefore the chip and dust, by putting this into a different part of the building outside the workshop, I can keep it unadulterated with, I don't need a chip separator. This has never had a chip separator on it. It's always been used for the sawdust from the bench saw, right behind it, and the thicknesser planer. That doesn't create a lot of dust. It creates a huge amount of chip. So having a cyclonic separator for this might be a backward step. Now, the bigger ones that I could buy, it's got them, as part, like matched, come with a cyclonic separator, and it has a lot of an appeal. But I don't think there would be any. I'm going down the path that I won't be putting a cyclonic separator on this, so that this small, low-level, entry-level dust collector can perform better. And I'm going to make it better by having a ring or an L-shaped ducting around the wall, and everything will go into that, rather than going into these flexi pipes, which are notorious for killing the efficiency, the amount of suck that the at the coalface sees. So yeah. And, by the way, the replacement of this for the one that I want, and I've said in other videos, so I'm just regurgitating it, $1,500. And that's what I'd need to be able to replace this with all the things that I need. Bigger motor, more suck, more efficient, double the capacity of this, better filtration system, etc. So it's got a lot going for it, and with the chip separator, the cyclonic separator, a lot of the load doesn't go onto this part, so everything good. But if I can use this and make it more efficient, and it's already doing a damn fine job at this stage, and I mean really good, why would I want to spend the $1,500 if this is no longer requiring the filtration system to make me healthier, because it's not even in the same room as me? That is a question. It is a good question, I think, to at least ask. Would a cartridge filter on this machine be better? Well, apparently yes, for several reasons. One, it's got more surface area than this bag, so therefore makes this more efficient. But earlier today, I put it over by the door. I took the top bag off. I've just emptied both bags, but I took the top bag off and turned it on, and I was surprised how much it didn't change here. I've seen other videos where one guy, turbocharged it and it was just about sucking his beard off, that sort of thing. And he did test it properly with an anemometer or whatever, or airspeed electronic gizmo, and it did make a huge difference in some of them, to the point where it accelerates so fast it out exceeds the capability of the gauge to read the correct reading. Now, I didn't see that here. Was it more sucky? Yeah, it was, but not like hugely impressive. So I'm thinking, I could do all the things that other people do and either cost money, take time, or just complex and all the rest of it, and get no material benefit in the workshop. If I get this out of the workshop, that alone would be beneficial, probably wise. If there's no downside, if I can, and there's still an if to it, if I can put it into the wee shed behind, a storage area behind, and maybe put a cartridge on it to increase its efficiency, maybe that will happen. But what I just said before, no bag on it didn't actually increase this magically to a level I'd be so impressed with. So retaining that or a cartridge out of the workshop, that's good for my lungs and also good for the floor space because it's not there. And with enough duct work around here, I've got all points of hooking into it that make it actually more efficient in the workshop. All of that stuff. So I've blathered on for 13 minutes, basically saying I won't be upgrading this. I'll save the money, save floor space and my lungs by putting it out in another shed, another area. I may even improve the suck capability of it when I go to pipe work rather than like the PVC rather than this. So there you go. Now I'm going to make a video directly after this, which will be on another subject. Well, not exactly the same subject, but the next stage to it. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. How's that? Making 2 videos instead of one long one. Might have to start doing that. But yeah, here's the other side of it, and I've said it several times as well. If I had to keep that in the workshop, in its current format, using those flaming pipes, the flexi tubes, I would, because the difference that it has made so far to that is huge. And you think that, by the time I get to my age, I would have watched enough or learnt enough to have understood that, but I didn't understand the impact that one of these make to one of those. And I was loyally wedded to those being hooked up to one of those because I've always done it that way, and I didn't like to look elsewhere. So I've cheated on this, sort of, and now I'm going to the dust collector. In fact, I'm loyal to that. It's still hooked up to the top part of the dust extraction and is still required to be. And this is connected up to the lower piece. Now, the wise person would suggest be disloyal, disconnect that completely, and have a junction where the top piece can transition into the lower piece. So there's one pipe leaving the workstation going into the ductwork, into this thing, and like it's actually got. And can I connect the plenum to the upper part? So can I bring that pipe work down into this, and then one pipe goes out to extract everything? It's a question I hadn't thought about until I started talking to you just now. Okay, doke. That's it. 15.5 minutes now. Okay, now I'll leave it there, and I will come back in the next video. Radio. See you later now. Bye.